You may have heard this word mindfulness. It's become something of a buzz phrase of late. So I'm going to give you one simple, serviceable definition, which is this. Mindfulness is the ability to know what's happening in your head at any given moment without getting carried away by it. Imagine how useful this could be. Just as an example, you're driving down the road and somebody cuts you off in traffic. How do you normally react? I think most of us, we normally react by having a thought, which is, I'm pissed. And then what happens next? You immediately, habitually, reflexively inhabit that thought. You actually become pissed. There's no buffer between the stimulus and your reaction. With just a little bit of mindfulness, in that same situation, you might notice my chest is buzzing, my ears are turning red, I'm having a starburst of self-righteous thoughts, I'm getting angry. But you don't necessarily have to act on it and chase that person down the road, screaming at them with your kids in the back of the car thinking you've gone nuts. Now, you might be thinking, don't I need to get angry sometimes? Aren't I justified? I would say yes, but probably not as much as you think. The proposition here is not that you should be rendered by mindfulness into some lifeless, non-judgmental blob. The proposition is that you should learn how to respond wisely to things that happen to you, rather than just reacting blindly. And that, my friends, is a superpower. How do you get it? The way to get it is through meditation. I believe that meditation and mindfulness are the next big public health revolution. In the 1940s, if you told somebody you were going running, they would have said, who's chasing you? But then what happened next? The scientists swooped in, they showed that physical exercise is really good for you, and now all of us do it, and if we don't, we feel guilty about it. And that's where I think we're headed with mindfulness and meditation. It's going to join the pantheon of no-brainers like brushing your teeth, eating well, and taking the meds your doctor prescribes for you. Let me just close by saying, mindfulness is not going to solve all of your problems. It's not going to render your life a nonstop parade of unicorns and rainbows. Nonetheless, this is a superpower, and one that is accessible by you immediately.
There is a story, usually attributed to the Native American tradition, which illuminates different ways of paying attention. An elder, talking to a child, says, I have two wolves fighting in my heart. One wolf is fearful, vengeful, envious, resentful, and deceitful. The other wolf is compassionate, loving, generous, truthful, and peaceful. The child asks, which wolf will win the fight? The elder responds, the one I feed. That doesn't mean we try to deny or hurt or kill the angry wolf. If we did that, we'd end up in a long battle, all the while somehow making that wolf more powerful through our hostility and fear. Hating that wolf sucks the strength right out of us. Instead, we calmly pay attention to the angry wolf and let go of believing they have the answers. If we can do that, they end up lying down next to us, no longer an enemy. We help strengthen the kind and loving wolf, giving it nourishment and support so that we can follow it. That peaceful wolf can become our steady companion and show us the way through all kinds of different life experiences. Restful or chaotic, enjoyable or disappointing experiences may come and go, but we can have a guide with us through it all. This is what mindfulness can help you do. Mindfulness allows us to see our thoughts and feelings as they are beginning. It's very powerful to know what we're feeling as we're feeling it, know what we're thinking as we're thinking it. With mindfulness, we can choose what will strengthen and bring into action, and we can choose what we will gently let go of. We don't have to be at the mercy of old habits or old ways of thinking or old ways of being. We are empowered. It just takes practice.
Everything. Like with mother or father, sometimes you're shouting with them, and then you could actually think about that before you have something to say. Could it be mindful? Could it hurt them? And I think that's one of the things I would learn. Well, if you go to school with mindfulness, like for a few minutes before you have a test or something, you breathe or you just sit down or take a walk. It really helps you.
The vase of water is our mind, and the different colours of sand are our thoughts and feelings. What kinds of thoughts do you have when waking up? Pick a colour of sand that feels right for your feelings or thoughts. This is how our minds are when we are in a hurry, stressed, angry, or upset. Can you see things clearly in this state? Let's breathe with the bell and observe all the sand as it slowly settles to the bottom of the jar. This is what happens to our minds when we meditate, when we are mindful of our body and of our breathing. What is the water like now? The thoughts and feelings can still be there in our minds, but rest peacefully at the bottom because we know how to return to our breathing to calm them.
If people bully me, I'll look into why they bully me. Maybe they have their own suffering, or they see something in me that make them suffering. Or maybe his families have problems and they want something to make people unhappy, to make themselves feel good. And we also need to understand why they do that.
If we can't do something to stop what the other person is doing, we can at least take care of what's happening in us. So if we feel sad or if we feel angry, if we feel hurt, we can know that those feelings are there in us and that those feelings are okay. They're normal to have that feeling, and so we can know that we need to be there for that feeling. Just like if our younger brother or sister were sad or upset, we would try to take care of them. So we see that the feeling in us is like our little brother or little sister that we need to take care of.